Ready? Hey, everybody. Let me see. Started. All right, we are going to start loosening up the outer hip and the low back. So let's start with our toes touching and just a little bit of space between the heels. We've put a lot of effort and a lot of mindfulness into these twisting stretches over the past few weeks. So rather than dissecting them, we're just going to trust that your body you have a muscle memory. Hopefully it'll just remember it. I'll give you a little bit. So from here, let's roll the shoulders down and back. And again, make sure your toes are touching and just a little bit of space between the heels. Of course, if you have on a larger work boot or a chunkier shoe, your heels might touch. Keep the knees soft. Lift your hips back just a little bit. As we inhale, let's breathe in through the nose. Reach it up overhead. Exhale, turn your palms forward. Pull it back. Nice big circle sweep. Inhale, arms up. Pump the knees a little bit. Palms forward. Nice big sighs of relief. Two more. Inhale in through the nose as much as possible. Exhale. Good. One more. Now create some resistance. Pull down. So imagine there's a resistance above you. So you're pulling back and down. Let's inhale the arms up. Keep the palms pressing together. Pull the hands into the center of the chest. Press into the sternum. Push the hips back. Little twist over to the left. Push your left hip forward while you twist to the left. Beautiful self-adjustment. Let's inhale. Come up through center, all the way up and overhead. Open the hands. Look up just for a moment. Exhale, hands together and down to the heart again. Pull it down. Press the hips back. Gentle twist to the right. Push the right hip forward. Inhale up through center. Nice big breath in. Open the palms. Look up. Exhale, palms to the chest. Gentle twist to the left. Push the left hip forward as you come down. Inhale, breathe it up. Open the hands. Look up. Exhale, pull it down. Twist to the right. Right hip pushes forward. One more on each side. Inhale up through center. Open the palms of the hands. Looking up. Exhale, palms in. Twist to the left. Push your left hip forward. Right hip back. Inhale, come up. Open up the hand. Last time. Exhale down. Twist to the right. Push your right hip forward. Left hip back. Inhale, bring it up to center. Open the palms of the hands, keeping that narrow stance. We're stepping our left foot back, a very short stride. With this short stride, you could stay with a heel to heel alignment with the narrow stance, or lift that left heel, pivot back, both toes forward. No matter where you go with this, just make sure that the knees stay soft. Try to avoid locking that out. Push back dynamically and down into that left heel. Bend the right knee without moving the knee or the hips. Exhale, swan dive halfway. Reach back through the fingertips. Lengthen out through the crown of your head. Pressing the palms down, pulling the shoulders back. Imagine somebody just dropped ice down the back of your shirt. You want to have like this little, or act surprised. Really surprised. Like no Botox surprise. There you go. Big inhale. Exhale, both hands onto the thigh. Turn your left fingertips towards the right side of the room. Take the right arm down. Bring it forward and circle it back. So we're going to circle maybe 2 or 3 times with that arm. Eventually resting the knuckles at our low back. Now, the interesting thing about this foundation is it could be easier to straighten your right leg. It might be easier on your back, but it's also going to be harder when you start to twist. So go ahead and just kind of check where you are right now. Maybe even close your eyes and notice where your center of gravity is. As we press into the inner blades of the feet, we can keep that right knee bent, or we can straighten the right leg and just notice how the center of gravity may become a little more secure in one of those different positions. Now choose the most secure position, balance first. From here, we'll open our eyes. Inhale, straightening out that left arm. Open the palm. Start reaching to the outside of your right leg with the left hand. You can press the hand against the thigh and the thigh against the hand. Push down into the inner blades of your feet. From here, as you inhale, pull your right shoulder up and back. Press the left shoulder over your right thigh. Think about maybe even allowing your left hip to fold in towards the inside of your right thigh. Relax your jaw. Inhale through the nose. Exhale from the throat. Option to straighten that right leg at any time, just to shift the center of gravity a little bit. Keep pushing into the inner blades of the feet. Press back into that left heel. Breathe into the upper right lung. One more big breath in. Pull that shoulder back. So your inhale is going to enhance the twist. When you're ready, bend the left knee just a tiny, or the right knee just a tiny bit. Take the left hand onto your right thigh. Bring that right hand around and slowly reposition the hips and shoulders. So hopefully you feel something going on the outside of that right hip. From here, let's step our feet forward. Toes are touching. Heels are separated. Our bodies already practiced this movement. Let's place the hands on the thighs. Bend the knees. Push your hips back. You do want to feel a spread through the buttocks region. From here, take the right hand across to the left. Option to open the palm. Reach your left hand out. Lift your hips back and lift your chin and raise your eyebrows. Relax your jaw. As you inhale, sweep it back. Look over your shoulder. And now bring those hands to your low back. Just the left hand to your low back. Reaching with the right hand, bend the knees a little more. Lift the hips back a little more. You do have the option to lighten up on your heels. Sometimes a small lift of the heel will help, but it does shift your center of gravity. So just be sure that you watch your tipping point. No matter where you are, act surprised. Push your left hip towards me. And then pull your left shoulder back. Looking over the left shoulder, breathe into the upper left lung. Big inhale, big exhale. Two more. Exaggerate the in-breath. Twist more on the in-breath. One more. Inhale, upper left lung, big twist. Exhale, relax. Both hands to the thigh. Separate the feet to the width of your pelvis or hip bones. Keep pushing your buttocks back. Straighten the leg. And now walk the hands down only as far as your spine is in agreement with this. How do you know when your body is not in agreement with something? Your face will get real tense. You'll get a constipated look on your face. Yeah, because the energy is stuck, which quite literally is what constipation is. Okay, congested. You'll get a congested look on your face. Stuff gets stuck. When you're ready, bend the knees deep. Let's all walk the hands up to our thighs. Elbows are bent. As we straighten the arms, we're gently taking pressure off some major blood vessels and standing tall. Now roll the shoulders back, shake it off. If you get a little lightheaded or you feel a little dizzy, that's very common coming out of that deep, deep hinge. All right, let's establish our foundation. Starting with our feet, toes touching, heels have a little bit of space. Inhale, bring the arms up and overhead. Exhale, step your right foot back this time. Keeping that casual stride. The longer the stride, the more pressure it's going to put on your hip and it's going to pull on your back. So just a very conservative stride. From here, we may want to lift that right heel, pivot it back, and then push it down. So actually, it's a bigger stretch on your right leg if you know your right calf or behind your knee is tight. Or if you know your hip is tight here, then bend your left knee more. But if you straighten your left leg, it's just going to be a different type of stretch. Wherever you are, press into the inner blades of the feet. Big inhale, relax your jaw, especially you and you too. Big inhale, reach. Exhale, One more, big breath in. Exhale halfway down. Easy airplane position. Imagine ice down the back of the shirt, or you're trying to hold a pencil between your shoulder blades and squeeze another pencil under your armpits, and your palms are down, and then you're pulling back. Imagine you're hanging on to like a ballet bar. You're hanging on to like maybe some sort of a fence behind you, and you're just kind of leaning forward, but that energy is anchored in your hands. That's the dynamic energy. When you're ready, slowly bring that right hand over to the left thigh. Right fingertips are turning over, so we drop that shoulder a tiny bit. Let's take our left arm down and around. 3 big circles, at least 3. So you're going to come up a little bit and then drop it through the trunk of your body without moving the hip at this point. One more. Big inhale, exaggerate your breath in the upper left lung, left knuckle to the low back. So already what we could do is maybe allow the hips to have a little bit of playfulness in them. Let that right hip come forward so it's turning in to the inside of your left thigh. You'll initiate that swivel in your hip girdle. As you inhale, roll the left shoulder back, open the palm of the right hand, push down into both inner blades of your feet, and now notice where your center of gravity is. So most of us are establishing that soft left knee, but maybe we feel more secure when we straighten the leg. Neither is considered easier or harder. It's just a matter of refining the practice to your personal needs today. When you're ready, inhale, roll that left shoulder back more. Push the left leg into your right hand and push your hand into your leg. Those are the opposing energies. So the soles of the feet, inner blades are pushing down, but your knees are trying to roll or press out. Lift your kneecaps. Let your body interpret that however it may be. Option to straighten that left leg at any time. While we're holding this pose, we're twisting more on the inhale. Breathe into the upper left lung. Draw the shoulder back. On the exhale, just soften a little. Inhale, bigger twist, a little bit more of a lift. Exhale, soften. Just one more. Keep pressing. And soften to safely exit. Both hands coming around onto the thigh, rotating the hip and shoulders to neutral. Keep pushing into the inside blade of the feet. Slowly coming up. Let's step our toes to touching. A little bit of space between the heels. Pushing the hips back. Allow for that spread through. We call it a QL, rhotic lumboris. It's like a lumbar spine muscle that can get really tight, especially if you have to sit a lot. It can wreak havoc on the nerves in your back and circulation. Let's bring our hands to the heart, coming down maybe a little deeper. Option to shift forward, tiny lift in the heels. It's just the tiniest little lift, just so we get more energy moving into the ball of the foot. This time we're taking our left hand across to the right, opening the palm, bringing our right hand forward, circle it back. Again, it'll be maybe just 1 or 2 times, just enough to help with that twist. Knuckles to the low back. Pull your right shoulder back, press your right shoulder forward, or push your left hip back. Right hip forward, left hip back. Right shoulder back. Breathe into the upper right lung. Left foot yellow. That would actually probably make it easier, right? 2 more big breaths, twisting on the inhale. Breathe into the upper right lung. Pull that right shoulder up and back. Look over to the right. Maybe even close the eyes. Remember to keep it light in your heels. When your body is ready, both hands come around. Easy does it. Hand on the thighs. Separate the feet just to the width of the pelvis bone, so they are more narrow than your hip width. From here, straightening the legs. Lengthen out, push your tailbone back. Exhale, drop forward, relax the jaw. If you're noticing any tightness in your back. Maybe exaggerate that exhale even more. You could even try sticking out your tongue when you exhale. So the same type of gesture you would make when you go to the doctor and they say, ah. If you stick your tongue out, notice what your back does. Let's try it together. Remember, you're not on camera, only me. Big inhale, exhale, tongue out. One more. Notice the release. The safety come out. Let's all bend our knees, hands come up to the sides, elbows are bent. Looking forward, we softly press into the legs, come up nice and slow, opening up these major blood vessels and border arteries in the hip. Roll the shoulders back, shake it up. All right, so let's come to any comfortable standing position. Noticing where the feet just naturally establish a foundation. So there's no right or wrong with this. Some of our bodies are going to have more narrow foundations versus wider ones. The main thing is that we're able to close our eyes and feel fairly balanced. So I say fairly balanced because letting go of the assumption or the expectation of complete stillness when you close your eyes. What happens naturally as we close our eyes, the most common thing is that the body will start to sway. It's kind of speaking out its environment. It's trying to sense, it's trying to pull more information in from the environment based on what it's feeling. And it could be what you're smelling, it could be other sensory organs in the feet. But as soon as we take away eyesight to sense the environment, the body will start to speak out. Imagine your body having a sophisticated system, just like your cell phone when it's looking for a Wi-Fi connection. That's what your body is doing in the environment. What happens naturally is if we lean into those subtle sensations, you may start to notice your body kind of circles a little bit, and it may even move in almost an elliptical pattern. Now, sometimes it'll pendulate, it'll just go left and right. Or you might go towards your left foot and then back towards your right hip. But all of us naturally have a nervous system that will move a little bit. So we just want to tune into that for a moment before we begin this marching experiment. First, let's lower the chin and open our eyes. Allow your eyes to fixate on a spot somewhere on the floor. It's generally about 45 degrees down from your cheeks and the tip of your nose. This is going to be, for most people, the most anchoring visual space for your nervous system. Now try closing your eyes and seeing that same space with your eyes closed. What can sometimes happen is the eyeballs will move from that fixed position when we close our eyes. Open your eyes again, and hopefully we see that same point. Let's try this one more time. Inhale, exhale, closing the eyes, through the mind's eye, steady the gaze, even without our actual sight engaged. Through the mind's eye, open the eyes and finding that point. Let's shift onto our left foot and lift our right knee as high as it will go, pulling up the foot, hopefully a flat foot. Keep your eyes fixed on that one point. I am not watching you at this point. If I lift my eyes, or even if I lift my chin, I know I will lose my balance. Let's place that foot down. Gaze is still fixed on one spot. Shift into the right foot, bend the left knee, pull up your left toe, then pull up the heel. This way we ensure that we stabilize the kneecap. We are moving strictly from the strength in the front of your hip flexor. Roll those shoulders down and back. Remember to smile, because anytime we work with the hips, there is a chance of the jaw getting tight. Lower the heel, lower the foot. Let's try that a few more times. Lift your left toe. Steady the kneecap, pull up the knee. You can hold it here or try closing your eyes. Still fixated on that spot through the mind's eye. When you're ready, lower your right foot. Lift the left toe. Pull up the left knee. Keep your standing legs soft. Your left knee. Option to close the eyes. Sorry. Lowering down the feet. Okay, keeping the eyes open. So just the first 6 lifts through the hip. Concentrating on lifting the toe and pulling up from the heel and then lower heel to toe. Let's try a few of these. Keeping the eyes open, look down towards the floor. Knees face off. So left toe comes up, lift the knee, lower heel to toe, right toe up, lift, heel to toe, left toe, lift, heel to toe, right toe, heel to toe, one more each side, toe lift, push off the heel, one more, right side, and now close the eyes, and try it again. Left toe, push off the heel, and step, right toe, heel, and step, left toe up, step, right toe up, step. You can move the opposite arm. So when your right knee comes up, left arm bend. Left knee comes up, right arm bend. You're marching almost like a toy soldier would march. High knees, bending the elbow, shoulders stay back. Imagine that you're holding on to a small hand weight so that we can create some dynamic tension even when we move the arms. Now keep those knees lifting high and pick up the pace. 1, 2, 3, 4, eyes closed, 6, 7, close your eyes, 8 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and stand still. Open the eyes. Take a moment to notice if you've had a lot of shifting or rotation. Generally, when your eyes are closed, when you do that marching action, if you notice your body rotating, we might want just to work a little bit more on balance, just a little bit more. All right, in closing, let's roll these shoulders back. Feet are at the width of the hips. Inhale, bring the arms overhead. Exhale, sweep them back and around. Palms up, chair flow. Push the hips back. Let's get the blood pumping in the quadriceps. Inhale up. Exhale back and around. Active squat. Big inhale. Get as low as you can. Option to lift those heels. Inhale. Exhale. Gardening season. Get real low. Gotta get low enough. No fancy tools. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. All it takes is maybe 6 to 8 active squat to really get your blood pumping. Now inhale up. Exhale, swan dive, hands to the thighs, hang loose like a rag doll. Shake your head yes. Turn the head left and right. Exhale from the throat, tongue out. Walk the hands up to the thighs, bend the knees, slowly come up. Let's practice our active pressure for the month. Palms are in front of you. If you turn the hands towards each other, hold on to your left thumb. Take your left hand and press the outer part of your palm against the flat part of the knuckles on your right hand. Take the right thumb, push it into the middle finger on your left hand. You're just going to hold it down in front of your chest, lower the chin. These are active pressure points specifically for the kidneys. So we are working with healthy detox in the body, flushing out the trash that gets stored up. Deep breathing. 2 more. So generally, we would hold pressure on these points like this for anywhere from 5 to 45 minutes. The thing with active pressure and other holistic modalities healing is that sometimes they don't work as quick as a pill. So it can be challenging to stick with it. So just remember to give yourself grace if you ever find that it's hard to stick with your routine. Definitely not. Take more time than popping a pill. When you're ready, relax. From here, we're going to end with one unique breathing technique. On rainy days like this, sometimes it helps to stimulate your metabolism a little more. You're not getting as much sun exposure. So we're gonna do a special technique. It's called the sun breath. You're gonna take, I'm right-handed, so I'm using my right hand. You're going to close off the flap of your left nostril. I know, don't stick your finger in it. Inhale into the right only. Now switch it over, close off the right, exhale out your left. And you might discover that you have some blockages. Maybe you didn't know were there. Switch it out, inhale right. Switch, exhale left. Switch, inhale right. Now just keep that rhythm. You might notice you need to blow your nose. Usually I do make sure we have tissues before we do this, but sometimes we don't even know that we're having blockages or drainage in one nostril, and actually limited breathing in one nostril affects your brain chemistry. It affects the parts of the brain that can function optimally neurologically. This has been proven in multiple studies by James Nestor. Inhale right, exhale left. This is to clear up foggy brain. One more. Inhale right. Exhale left. And now inhale both. All right. One big inhale, reach it up. And let it go. Your total body reset. You're done. You're done. That was easy.